Hi, I'm Lisa and welcome to Ecstasy Crafts. I'm going to be teaching you today the Valentine card class, which if you're watching this, you'll have got your kit, which we made up for you. We also held this class in store. For those of you who can't make it to our store on our class days, we always have some kits ready for you. So we don't want you to miss out. You can do them from home, and it's a great way of having a simple craft ready for you to do on maybe a rainy day or something. And all you have to do is go to the link on our YouTube channel that we send you, and you find me teaching you. So here we go. I'm going to cut two down below here so you can see exactly what I'm doing, and we're going to take it step by step, and you're going to end up with some really beautiful cards just like the ones behind me here. So these were the sample cards that I made, and it's all using the Grow with Love collection from Paper Rose. It's a really nice way to use it. I use the 12 by 12 pack and just cutting them up, but you're going to see all the steps. So follow along. Hopefully you've got a cup of tea. And if you need to take a break, all you need to do is pause this video and pick up where you left off. Okay, so let's get at this. And we'll now go to actually starting. So first of all, you're going to get everything out of your pack, and you're going to get one of your white sheets of paper. On the white paper, you can use a paintbrush or a spreader. For something like this, I like to use one of these spreaders. It just makes it a little bit easier. And I put my glue in a pot from my big pot. I love the refillable glues. We use Barely Art. And it's a nice way just to put some in a little plastic pot, which you can then put the lid on or put it back in the jar. So spread your glue out along the top third and down to the bottom third there, just that bottom corner. So just spread your glue out. You're going to apply glue again as and when you need it. So we'll just leave that there. And then with the strips of paper that you also have in your pack, so basically I cut the strips approximately 1 centimeter wide of various different patterns in the Grow with Love pad. So all we want to do, and I've done this a couple of ways, and I put them straight along, and I don't like it as much as doing it diagonally. So we're going to start off in that top corner. What you can do, use your scissors or just tear it and cut that off, because whatever is over the edge of the paper is effectively wasted. You might need to, the paper first of all really soaks up some of the glue, so you might have to put a foundation coat on and then some more. If you want to, you can just apply with your glue container onto the back of each piece. It's entirely up to you, it's personal preference. But doing it this way, once you get going, it's easier to just pop them on each one here and say, just tear it. We're going to even out the edges later anyway. And just do this randomly, but get yourself a little kind of pattern but non-pattern going. You want to alternate the colors, the actual patterns that are going. You can tear later and just spread your colors out and your patterns on the, see that one for me is too close to that green. So we're going to put a stripy one in here. So there is no wrong way to do this, obviously. It's very random, but we all have a different eye, as it were. And you just do whatever you feel is most appealing. So keep sticking those on and put each edge right up to the edge before. There's just a little gap there, so we're just going to zhuzh that up. And you're going to find this with me and teaching these classes. I will warn you, I am originally from England. I've been here almost 27 years. I'm told I still have an accent, a British accent, although goodness knows what it is now because it's a little bit of a mishmash. But, oh, that one just fits in there. I'm going to pop that one in there. But I will come out with some English-isms, as people tell me, and it's certain phrases and sayings, things like that, that you might not understand. So I will apologize in advance if you don't understand me. And if you really don't, I'm sure there's not anything that's really bad. But if you don't understand something I've said, or I say something and it makes you laugh and you want to know what it means, maybe send us a message. But yes, I do come out with a lot of Englishisms for several sayings, but when I've grown up with them, as a lot of people say things in Canadian that I don't fully understand, because so there we're going to pop a little bit more glue on, because that one was just, those two were just lifting a little bit. See the end of that one. So we're just going to, just to make sure that they really stick. See, those ends have all stuck really well. So there's no problem, just putting a little bit more on in each layer. You want to just make sure they're stuck, because when we finish this, we are going to be cutting shapes out of this piece. So we want to make sure that everything is stuck down properly. See, for something being random, I start overthinking it, which isn't helpful at all. But I think we all, as artists, as creators, it's something that we are all guilty of. Are you guilty of it? I know I am. And I overthink things, and you look at things and think, oh gosh, have I done enough? Have I done too much? And then we put it down and go and have another cup of tea and come back to it maybe. So, you know, we've all got to believe that we are so creative. We all do a really, really good job in whatever we're doing. And art, any kind of art, is not really wrong. Just create to your heart's content, because it's so good for you. And since I've worked here at Ecstasy Crafts, I have met and been in the company of so many of you at the classes, and when you just come in the store, we share ideas and inspirations, and it is so good. I find I've been an artist, a paint artist, for over 12 years, and used to do fairly sizable art pieces, and some small ones too, and go to different shows and sell them at different art shows around Ontario. And I've loved doing that, but oh my gosh, I love working on these small pieces of cards and junk journals. I'm getting into junk journals now. I don't know whether anybody else is, but we're going to be doing some classes on that too. And I'm wittering away here, so you can always mute me if you don't want to listen to me, but I'm wittering away here because this is the part that is just repetitive. So there's nothing really to explain to you about the actual process. I mean, I suppose basically this is based on applique or applique. I don't know. Applique is what I would say in England. I don't know whether somebody said it was applique here. Maybe there's somewhere in the middle. But that's the, putting small pieces of fabric to compose a picture. Essentially, we're doing the same thing. It's just using small pieces. And this is a great way, don't forget, of using up your scraps. So all of our scrap bins that I know you have, and it's getting bigger by the day. I know mine is at home. Never mind the one here. The one at home is big enough. And we all put them in because we don't like to waste any paper, and it'll all come in useful for something. Well, this is one of those uses. And even though right now it might look, this is where we can cut a few of these off and use them at the bottom portion here, because we're getting smaller and smaller again. So we'll put those on there. It's a super way of using up your scraps. And don't forget, we're just doing one now that is just basically on one piece of paper, and it's just going diagonally in long strips. If you really wanted to get elaborate and fancy to make yourself a new background piece for some artwork or cards, or even covering a box or something like that, you can do all kinds of things. You can overlap them, you can, something like this, like I'm showing you now, you can weave them. I've done that before, you know, and then just like literally weaving them. And it takes a little bit longer, but it's a lot of fun to do and gives a great effect and gives a lot of texture too. So scraps are just the start of something beautiful. So don't ever throw anything away. And if you've got a significant other in the house that says, why do you need all those? Ask the significant other why they need a drawer full of wires, which I don't know. I've never met a man that hasn't got a drawer full of wires somewhere in the house. So there we go. Oh no, I don't like that one there. Let's change that for something else. Let's put this one on there on the end. Just probably not even going to use that corner piece, but so we've got it all fixed down with the glue. It's nice and smooth. Just check, if you lift it up, you can see all the edges here. The best way of doing it is just, because they're all put on in one piece, everything's stuck down beautifully. So now we're going to, I'm just going to wipe here any excess glue that's gone over and get that off there. This just feels very weird. This is probably just the second time I've done this kind of video, teaching video, and it just feels really strange that you're constantly looking at my hands and not at my face, but I'm wittering away to you. So, if we turn it over, we can just put our glue and everything back out of the way because we don't need the big spreader anymore. And we just spread that down. And now what we're going to do, if you just want to set that aside and let that glue finish drying, you can set all your little pieces aside now, and we can work on putting together our base cards. Now in your package, you will have 3 4x6 base cards and 1 5x5, which are all cut and ready for you to go. So let's do the 5x5 first. So the 5x5, literally, and then I want you to fold that. I've kind of done mine, but I want you to fold it up from the top right corner to the bottom left corner and just fold that and press that down so it's got a nice crease in there. Also in your package, you'll have 2 5x5 papers. I mean, these are just such bright, joyful cards. The paper themselves are bright and joyful, and when I say they're Valentine cards, yes, they are, but also they can be used anytime, not just on Valentine's Day, because love is for any day and every day. So they can be a thank you card, any card, birthday card, doesn't matter. You can send a love heart any day of the week for any occasion, but we happen to be doing them now. So for this one, I'm choosing this. So you just want to put some glue. And of course, that's not wanting to come out. So we're going to get, oh, where's our little pin? Oh, my word, my word, my word. I'm going to use, can never find a pin when I want one to get that out. It's probably not been used for a little while. And if it doesn't work, Okay, so I'm going to, just because I have it here. Oh, hang on. I have another one. See if this one wants to work. See, this is the studio at Ecstasy Crafts where we do the recording, etc. And I'm not totally familiar with doing this and the whole layout. So please forgive me if I am a little bit staggered here and there. No, that doesn't want to work either. So you can use whatever glue you have. I'm just going to use a brush and my little pot that I currently have open because I don't want to keep you all waiting. So we're going to apply some glue to the back of one of your 5x5 pieces and turn that over carefully and fix that to the back, and it is a full 5x5. I'm not putting any kind of border around it because it's just not necessary on this one. So that is on there. Now on this one, again 5x5, I've chosen to show the plain side, even though it does have some variation in color, giving a texture-like effect in it. So just fold that over corner to corner and crease it, and that is going to fit over there. So we are going to put this on here. That's just a little bit too, hang on, I know I got it, there we go, that's better. It just fits better that way. Okay, so make sure you've scored it, you've creased it rather, and all those are pre-cut for you. So, but obviously all the dimensions are on the worksheet anyway if you do want to reproduce this card in another design with some other paper. So we're going to put that on here like so, but because of the crease, I want you to make sure before you really push it down on the inside, make sure you've kind of got that crease, otherwise it can get, paper itself can get a little tight just going over the crease there. So we want to make sure that it's not going to be too tight, and it's got enough room there just right over that crease because we don't want it to tear. So that really is the base for your 5x5, which is rather nice. It's a nice way to see the inside, see the outside, and it does stand up really, really well too. So again, we're going to put that to one side, just at the back there. And now we're going to do 2 of the 4x6. So again, in your package, you've got 2 4x6 coloured card. I'm going to choose these for this one. And again, all you're going to do with these is fix them to the front of your card base right there. So, and like most papers, the designs, the double-sided designs on these are so lovely. Every time I use one side of something, I go, oh, but I like the other side too. But for this purpose, I'm choosing this one. So there we go. We can pop that right on there. Make sure that is firmly fixed down. That's just a little bit too long, so I'm going to just give that a quick trim. Now I know, again, it's kind of personal preference. Some people like using other kinds of cutters. I really love my guillotine. It gives really precise, sharp cuts and no dragging with the paper. And then this one, okay, so there's lots of design in the actual hearts themselves, which we're going to do from the piece we've just made. So I'm going to use this side on this one, but it doesn't really matter. Again, it's a joyful looking card. So Sometimes the more colour the better. Makes you happy. Makes me happy anyway, especially on these slightly dreary days. So we can put that right on there and fasten that one down. And again, that's a little bit too large, so I'll simply trim that off. There we go. Okay, so you've got 2 card bases almost done. Now you'll find we have the embossed card, which just again gives it a little bit more texture, but also gives that bright white to not take away, but balance out the colors that we have. So this is from one piece, 4x6 piece, and then literally to do this, all I did was freehand with an X-Acto knife, and I just held it down and cut out. You can draw a line first and then cut it with scissors, whatever you prefer to do. I'm very familiar with using X-Acto knives, so I did it quickly with that. But if you are going to mark it out first, make sure you mark it on the reverse side and then you don't get any kind of pencil line. So for that, we're going to use one at the top and one at the bottom. Apply more glue. And we're just going to fix. Let's do that one at the top. Put that right on there. And then this one, we'll do the reverse because, I mean, we could put both of them at the top, but let's be different. It makes each card unique, just changing up the design a wee bit. And put that on there. And we'll fix that one to the bottom. Okay. And we're just going to trim that right there. Okay. So now we have those 2 done right there. Just trimming a little bit there. So we have those 2 done. We have the square one done, the 5x5, and this one, the 4th 4x6, we're going to put a 4x6 piece of the design we've just made with the little strips. So set these aside for now, and we'll come back to those in just a minute. I'm just going to wipe some of this glue off my fingers because I don't want it getting on anything else. And you're going to bring in your piece here. So on this, just to make it easy for you when you're cutting things out, I like to trim off all the excess. So just run your X-Acto knife right up to the edge there and get all that excess off. That doesn't, for the most part, have any glue on, so the scraps can go back in the scraps. Even though these weren't scraps, these were cut purposefully for this project. And the same on all 4 sides. That looks a little tidier. So we'll just put those aside now, and those go in the garbage. So now, first of all, we want to make the front for our 4x6. So let's take guillotine, and we're going to cut 4 on here. probably do that all the way because it just makes it easier. And then 6. So that way we have, that's going to go right on the back there. And that shows the whole design. I think I'm just going to turn that around just because I feel that just looks a little bit better. So again, we're going to, now we've got that piece, we're going to just glue that on the back. You can use double-sided tape too, but I like to use the glue and it dries quickly, so we're good with that. And fix that to your cardstock. Now this one, instead of having it horizontally orientation, let's put it vertically. So we're going to fix that this way because we have 2 horizontal orientations. So we're going to put that way. So those are the card bases now prepared. Bring back your piece, and you also have in your pack your templates that I sent to you. So we've got 2 white hearts, which we'll come to, and your pattern templates. So with those, we need to cut out 1, 2, 3 large pattern, 3 large pattern, and 4 small pattern. So literally, we're just going to, I'm going to turn that around. Let's do it on the back, and then we don't get any pencil or pen marks. So cut around there. Just draw around 1. I mean, so these are really to decorate your cards now. So you can do as many hearts as you would like. It doesn't matter. You may want to put 1 large heart and then a flower from something from your stash. I don't know. We all have our personal preferences, but if we're following the cards that I've done, this is what we'll want to do. And again, this is a time-consuming little bit, but it's necessary and it's fun because you're using all your pieces and creating the whole thing from scratch. Let's do 4 of those. And then while we're here, you're going to take your other piece of white cardstock that I have for you, and you're going to do the same with the heart with white written on it, and you're going to cut around those, and so then you'll have your stack of white and patterned hearts ready to decorate your cards. So again, we're going to do 3 large and 4 small. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to make you listen to me while I cut these out, and I'm going to give you time for you to draw around them and cut them out yourself. So I'm just going to fade out with the tutorial, and then we'll come back in when we're ready to assemble all the pieces onto our cards. Okay, so make sure you get all those done. The white out of the white templates, the pattern out of the pattern templates. You've already got your piece on the back here. If it's starting to curl a little bit, which it might do because the glue's drying, Just flatten it out, maybe put something on top of it to flatten out while we're cutting these out and everything else is drying. So I will be back with you in just a few minutes. I might even go and get a cup of tea myself, or at least some water. Okay, see you very soon. Hi, and we're back. So in that short break, you'll have got all your hearts cut out of your newly formed piece that you made and your white hearts. So let's go back to now assembling the pieces onto the cards and the backgrounds for the cards. So we'll now go to looking down at my hands and we'll carry on. So this is what you have. You have all your card bases already and all your hearts. Also in your package, you will have one of these, a die cut piece and a piece of pink cardstock. So on that, we just want to fix that just with a couple of dabs of glue onto the pink piece. Now again, we really don't need much for this. I like to just use my fingertips or there, just around the edge. It doesn't need much. It's a very delicate die cut, but I just liked the filigree and thought it gives a little something extra. So I'm gonna pop that on there, and there we go. Let's turn it over and press that on because obviously we don't want to damage the filigree cuts. Perfect. So let's do this one first. So we're just going to, with this one, you can also put some washi tape or something else around the edge if you want to. Just need a little dab more of glue on that edge there. Put that on there. That should do it. Perfect. And now we want to fix this onto here. So it's just going to overhang. So I kind of do it from the left side, from the point to the point, down onto the yellow cardstock. So we can just pop some glue on there. And fix that onto the side there. It should be good. Open that up. And again, press on from the back. And then with these, what we want to do is just fix the patterned piece onto the white cardstock using some 2mm foam pads. So it just gives that lift and gives the 3D relief effect. So we just pop those on the back here. Don't need too many. You can use bigger ones if you want to, but I just have these. I'll space those out. Thank goodness for these little picky tools. I'll be here all day with my nails. And just center that onto the white piece. Again, it just gives that 3D relief there. And now we want to just stick that onto here. That's all we need to do with that. And again, we just need to stick that on with some glue, or you can use a 1mm glue pad. Let's actually use a 1mm pad because I honestly like how sticky these are. So we use a slightly bigger one here. So again, we want to just put it on there. So we should have one there. One there. Let's just check the placement. That should be good. So we can go ahead and take the back off of those. Stick this onto here, and then it just, when it stands up, obviously it overlaps and you can see the back and the side. Still got plenty of room to write here. If you wanted to, you could put a white piece here to write any message on, but I love the design of this. So I would write my message here. So we're going to stick all the hearts on, and then we'll do the sentiments at the end. So this one you've got on the back here. So there's a lot of pattern, a lot of color on this. So again, we want to put the pattern onto the white with 2mm foam pads. I'm going to use the larger one here because this is a larger piece, obviously. And then a couple of small ones too. We don't need all the big ones. No, I will. Actually, I'll cut one in half. There we go. How about that? There, that'll be perfect. Get those on there. And stick your... Oh, I didn't place that quite correctly, did I? See, we can all mess up. I'm just going to pull that off. I needed to put that in further in. That's what I needed to do. So we'll put that further in there. That's better. And then I'm actually better if I hold it up. There we go. If you need to, we can just trim around that because I feel that's just a little bit too wide. So don't be afraid to trim. There. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better actually. So that we're going to put on with the 1mm foam pads, and then the smaller one with the 2. Actually, no. Again, this is up to you. It's kind of personal preference how much you want. So if we put the 2mm on these first, this is, see, again, this is where it's like, even though I've done this 3 times before, I designed the cards, I am doing the video to teach, and still, when I come to doing them again, I second guess myself. And I think that's partly because sometimes I don't like doing the same thing twice. I don't like just repeating exactly the same design, so I'll change it up a wee bit. So now we've got 2 different size hearts, but they've got the 2mm pads, so I'm going to put one that way and one this way. So I think I will put this one, stand that out even more, and put 2mm large pads on the back of that one too. Because it's going pattern on pattern on pattern, even though it has a white border, I think it's nice that it's going to stand up a little more with the 2mm pads on, and you get that depth between the white and the background here. So we'll put that there. Yep, I like that. Yep, happy with that. And then this one, we're going to overlap it. So this one can be glued on here, and then we're going to need a 2mm pad on here, because obviously the differing heights there. So 2mm on the right side. Ooh, I'm stuck. Gosh, aren't we always full of glue and tape and goodness knows what? When I was painting a lot, I was always covered in paint, and then I'd leave the house, and usually my hair was tied up, and I'd be in the grocery store with paintbrushes stuck in my hair. There, perfect. Yep, I like that. Just the way that is. That looks really cute. Just a riot of happy color. So those 2 are done. Now we've just got these 2 to go. So again, we will put, I'm going to put one on the white background with the 2mm. Let's do that one. Ooh. I hope you've been enjoying doing this. It's a nice, it is an easy card, but I also think sometimes we get a little stuck on what we want to do next, especially if you're the type of person that most of us are, that we put a lot of thought and care and time into our creations. And sometimes some creations take more thought than others if they've got a lot of cuts and folds and things in them. And so for me, when I've done something like that and then I want to go to something else, let's put that one on there, and then those two can go on there. Oh, no. That one on there, that's right. So then I want to go to something else. It's kind of like I want to clear my mind of things before I go on to another project of some difficulty. So it's nice to be able to do something that's just a little bit easier, still very productive, doing a new technique, but doesn't take an awful lot of thought. And it's almost like just giving your mind a little creative reset before you tackle the next thing. So that one I'm not putting a background on actually, because we've got the white here and that's not a terribly busy background paper. So I'm just going to pop that one on there like that. That one's already on there. So we'll put that one on there just to the side. And for anybody watching, I'd really like you to perhaps give me some feedback. I have taught classes before, but I've always taught classes not for Ecstasy Crafts, but for my own business over the years. I've taught classes and they were always in person. And it's rather different when you're teaching a class, but essentially you're just doing what you're doing on your merry own way in a studio and nobody is here. It is mighty strange. So I'd love some feedback. Let me know if the content is what you're expecting, if I go too fast or too slow, if you don't mind me chatting in between times, because I'm kind of doing this as if you are here and we're just all crafting together in a room and we're all having a little crafting session until I look up and there's nobody there. I'm all on my own. So I'm just going about it as if we were all together. So this one, I'm going to put glue on the back because I'm going to fix this one directly to the cardstock. That's flat, just there. And again, we'll rub that on from the back. And it is all about getting, because it's essentially the same color palette, the same design, but different. And so using different heights with the foam tabs, etc., is kind of nice. So this one, I'm just going to put, again, I think I'll put a 2mm pad on the back there. But you may want to arrange your hearts completely differently, which is absolutely fine. You know, you may want to stick them on top of each other and then put something else here. But I'm going to go and put that a little bit of glue on this side and put that just there. Okay, so we have our 4 cards, basically just from some strips. of paper, which were not scrap, but certainly could have been scrap. Honestly, you can do them in all different colorways, different designs. I've done them that I've cut these into butterflies. And again, it's just making a template for them and then cutting them out. You could do whatever you want, flowers, butterflies, anything, just do anything. I mean, it's just such a good way of using up paper and giving a card a really different look and creating your own ephemera, really. So now we are going to put the sentiments on. So in your kit, we've got the handwritten sentiments, which I love. So I hope I put in a good selection for you. I think I did. And again, Valentine's cards, but they could be for anything. So with this one, I'm actually going to put Lucky. Which one should I put it on? I'm going to put it on this one. So Lucky, and then I think you've all got in your some blank tags. And then on this one, I'm actually going to write Lucky Me. And just a little heart there. Because as far as my husband goes, I do consider myself very lucky. So if I were to send this to him, I would say lucky me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he's pretty lucky too. Lucky. Where's it gone? And again, just a couple of foam pads on the back. Lucky me. And then we just want a couple, I think just a couple of little rhinestones on there. I'm going to put some blue ones on. I think I put a few different colors in there. And just where this little swirl is on the end, I just chose to put the rhinestones. And the rhinestones, I just feel, give any card just that little bit of glitz, which I love, little embellishment, sets everything off without overpowering it. So that's the first one. Let's go on to this one now. This one, let's just put, I think, just simple love on this one. Put a couple more pads on there. Ooh. Two came off at once there. And that one, we're just going to put on an angle. Again, we'll put the rhinestones on. For this one, I'll just choose a little gold one. I think that sets it off nicely. Got lots of gold in this paper. Oh, oh gosh. There we go. And this one, what do we think? Hope and peace, I think. I kind of like putting them on, but I like them putting them there too. So anyway, again, it's up to you as for your placement of your sentiment. Hope and peace. I mean, that would be, you know, lovely to send to anybody. Just a, I'm thinking of you, wishing you. Oh, no, I want that one up there. Hope and peace. Anybody who perhaps is in hospital right now, going through a hard time, you know, not so much of a get well card, but let them know you're thinking of them. There's always hope. We always have hope. And I wish for them peace in their journey and their recovery. And you could obviously embellish on that sentiment inside in your in your verse or your writing. And this one is just lovely. That's just lovely. You are lovely. I mean, you could always write another plain one. Maybe I'll do that actually. Lovely there. And with the plain tag, we'll just write you are. Oh gosh, this is tiny. Little you. Go over that, not the greatest pen. You are lovely. Brings to mind a part in the Bridget Jones movie. You're lovely, just the way you are. So that's that one. And let's put some rhinestones on here too. And then that will be all finished off. And the last one, there we go. So there we have 4 really beautiful cards. Fresh and sunny and happy and joyful, and all from the same pack, all from the same collection, but each one really, really different and unique. And these are the kind of cards also that you can have, you know, a few of and keep them stacked in a drawer ready to send to somebody for any occasion. And also you could, perhaps you wouldn't raise them quite so much with the 2mm pads, but you could make some of these and just put the hearts on as 1mm pads and put a collection of them together and send them as a pack of note cards, which also would be a really nice gift for someone. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed that little tutorial. And I've enjoyed teaching it, as I say, even though I'm still getting used to this. So thank you so much for those who have bought the class and have joined it with me, and those who come to the in-store class. And as I said earlier, don't forget that if ever we're posting classes and you, back with me now, and you can't make the in-store class, we will always have kits that you can buy online. You can either pick them up at the store here at 630 Shannonville Road, or we can have them shipped to you. And the kits will always contain everything you need. The only thing you might need in addition is your tape and your glue and that kind of thing, but those things pretty much you will have in stock. But as for papers and ephemera and the instructions and everything, they will always come with the pack and then the link to the online tutorial, which is me. So follow us on our website, and sign up to our newsletter, because the newsletter is the first place that everything goes for the new classes and workshops and events. We have lots of events and classes coming up. I'm working really hard to create the content for these and a few different things too. So yeah, it's been lovely spending time with you. And if you want to make these again and you want a quick refresh, then all you have to do is go to the link again. Okay, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you at our next class. Take care.